is a doctor here locally in Prescott, Arizona, for the Sheldon Street Medical. Um, Tell us about how life is going, uh, COVID status, I guess. I mean, this is new life. I guess we're all living. So, yeah, tell us what you're thinking, what your thoughts are.
So for as far as for the medical community, everybody is just burned out on COVID. So asking people to wear masks when they come in and things like that. Everybody's tired of it. But that actually is, we now know, despite previous recommendations, that wearing a mask when you're in close quarters with people, depending upon the ventilation, is the best thing to protect yourself. As far as how it's been, we switched to a lot of tele stuff. Well, actually, not tele so much, but we do a lot of stuff via the phone. We do a lot of stuff via the email appointments. I have seen people continuously throughout the entire thing, but we try and keep them short and sweet. So if you're sick, we try and get you in here. I moved my office up here to the front, so there's good airflow. Where the door, people, get constant flow. So it's just everybody's tired. Everybody wants it to go back to normal, and unfortunately, in Arizona, the case numbers are going up, so we can't really go back to normal. Everybody kind of got this taste of freedom, and
Yes, everybody got a taste of food. It was kind of amazing. Okay, so before prior to this, I wanted to go ahead and ask some questions. So I put on my Facebook page and I asked several people that actually replied. So I thank you all. I won't expose any of their names, but I had several people message me and talk to me about their COVID experience. Actually, my cousins in California were talking to me this morning about it. And I said, well, obviously you're still here, thank God. But tell me, what is your experience? Now, obviously, the COVID-19 has no kind of like I don't know. It just feels like it doesn't have a proper diagnosis of what exactly it's doing. Do you have what are some of the symptoms and what is it attacking?
So it comes in through your respiratory system, like any virus. There's lots of coronaviruses out there. Most of them just cause colds. Unfortunately, this one, like SARS-1, the first one, is a little bit more toxic, I guess you could say. Although there is some evidence to indicate, I think it's out of UPenn or someplace like that, that's showing that it may be mutating to become less toxic. And the reason for that is, remember when it first came out, everybody said, "Oh, this is going to be like Ebola." Well, Ebola A is one and number one. Number two, Ebola kills up to 80% of the people that get Ebola, depending on the strain. There's 5 strains. So this was never going to be like Ebola. But Ebola is not really a very successful virus. In other words, it's never really spread outside of the areas that it's endemic to because it kills everybody. All right? Mm-hmm. So to be a successful virus, you need to be like the common cold.
Yeah.
Everybody passes it to everybody else, and no big deal. So there is some evidence to indicate that COVID, SARS, is possibly mutating to become less toxic. Okay. So what happens is every time you cough, sneeze, and talk loudly, we all expel these microparticles. Okay. Viruses carry this. And then you are sitting next to me and I spew lovely virons all over you. I tested myself last week. Lovely virons all over here. And you breathe it in. Okay. So it starts with your nose, starts in your mouth. Breathe it in. And then where coronaviruses start to attack is the upper respiratory system. So for most people who have a good immune system, they fight that off and it never goes any further, right? Just like the common cold. For those who, and we don't really know why, the theory is it's the load of the virus particles. So you've got somebody who's carrying a high load of virus that coughs right in your face, and you get a high load of virus. They think that the amount of the virus particles you get is a big determinant of how sick you get. So, if you're in very close quarters with somebody who's really sick, doesn't know it, and they're spewing out high levels of virus particles, on top of the fact that everybody's immune system fights it differently, right? So we're individuals, okay? Even though we're looking at generalized antibodies, there's the whole rest of your system that's at work, okay? So some people will never make a high load of virus particles because their immune system. Some people will carry around high loads of virus So how much you get, and then how successful your immune system is at suppressing those viruses, and attacking them, doing away with them. Not very good at suppressing it, it gets into your lungs. Okay. It seems to have an affinity also. I'm sure you guys all heard about the people bleeding out, having strokes and things like that. Seems to also have an affinity for the endothelial lining, which is just the inside lining of blood vessels. Okay, and it seems to like to attack there and live there, and then it just totally damages blood vessels, which is why people are having strokes, they're having problems, keeping them from bleeding out, because when you mess with the endothelial lining, anything can happen. You can either clot or you can bleed. So there's, some thinking that once people get really sick, do we go ahead and put them all on blood thinners, and you have to worry about the bleeding out, blah, blah, blah. So, that sequela seems to be the worst. But it can then move throughout the body, okay? And so the really sick people are the ones that their immune system just doesn't keep it. And initially, you heard all the things about ventilators and everything. Well, you never want to go on them. It's not a good thing to be on. Probably 50% of the people that go on ventilators don't make it off. Once you get onto a ventilator, your lungs have no incentive to work for you, right? So then it's months and months, at least weeks and weeks, you have to then be weaned off them, and all the subsequent long-term illness that's going to come from something like this. So that's one of the worst case scenarios. Most people, it's going to be confined to this upper respiratory. You're going to sneeze, you're going to have a dry cough. One of the biggest things I've heard is fatigue, just this severe exhaustion.
Yeah.
Night sweats. Okay. And waking up with rigors and chills and night sweats. Some people get some gastrointestinal distress because it also likes to go to the gastrointestinal lining. Just this other lethargy. You can't, you take the flu, this you say is magnified like headache, high fevers, which most adults, I consider. That's why when we go to the hospital, it's over 101.4. So below 101.4, we're kind of like, or 100.4. And no big deal. Okay, once adults start mounting a high fever, that's pretty indicative.
Yeah. So this is the overall question. We obviously see the numbers growing, and just everybody's getting COVID. Will it just run out eventually? Is this what we're seeing?
Hoping for is herd immunity, and you have been exposed to it, maybe antibodies or a vaccine that gives you. Okay, so if 2 out of 3 people running around in your community have immunity to it, the chance of the other 1/3 getting it is pretty low. Okay, so we're hoping for herd immunity. It doesn't, and how long does that last? Well, we think 1 to 2 years. But you have other viruses that you come across in your life that are similar to, so some of the effect of our own bodies being able to fight it off is the fact that we've seen other similar things. Maybe not COVID, but similar enough that it helps us get immunity. So the increase in the numbers is 2 things. Okay, it's not necessarily more sick. It is a lot because we are testing a lot more. Okay, so if you test 90% of the population, whereas before you tested 10% of the population, you're going to get
numbers.
Stuff. So sorry.
I've got people complaining they can't hear you guys. So if you guys just make sure you
okay.
You face this way.
Let me go ahead and bring you guys up in person with us.
There we go.
It's okay.
And then, hey, real quick, Dr. Bloom, there was a study that came out this morning from Wuhan that basically said that 40% of the antibodies are gone within 6 months. Does that mean there's no chance of herd immunity, or what does that really mean?
Well, first we would have to know if that's a good study.
Right, of course. Right.
So you heard about the whole Lancet fiasco, right?
No.
Did you hear about that? Okay, so the debunking of hydroxychloroquine about a month ago.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Lancet published a study, and the editors of the Lancet should both be fired, honestly, and that's pretty generalized statement. So they published a study that supposedly this guy did at some hospitals in England. There were, 80,000 people, 50,000 people, whatever. Turns out the study was actually written by this guy, a girlfriend. I don't know if she's his girlfriend, who is an adult, shall we say, let's be nice and say stripper, and another buddy who's a science fiction writer. The Lancet published the study without doing any due diligence, and all that brouhaha came up about hydroxychloroquine, saying that the mortality was higher in 2/3 of the patients in the hospital, blah 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 blah. Well, come to find out, Stanford and a guy at Yale, and everybody looked at the evidence and realized this was a totally created study, and the Lancet had to backward it. So we do know, so for example, something like hydroxychloroquine is not for sick people, okay? If you get to the hospital, it's too late. Hydroxychloroquine doesn't work. It's like Tamiflu for the flu.
Mhm.
If I give you Tamiflu when you've had it for 5 days, it's too late. It's not going to help, okay? You have to use hydroxychloroquine if you're going to use it preventatively or very, very, okay? So the Wuhan study you're mentioning is, let's see, they're a very select population in China, with very select, kind of closed system of their immune responses, very generic, homogenous. And how good was the study, done? We don't know. We can't really, until time goes by, know. So that's part of the problem right now. Everybody is publishing before there's any evidence from anybody else, pro or
That's
con.
what you're saying. I mean, that's really it. It's going to take time.
Yeah. The general thought, because we've seen other coronaviruses and they saw SARS, right, is that your immunity lasts for a year or two. Now, what does that mean for herd immunity? Are we going to have to get vaccinated for the coronavirus every 2 years, like a flu vaccine? Maybe. It depends on how good the vaccines are.
So tell me, what are you doing right now for your patients, clients, friends, family? What are you suggesting to them how to go ahead and keep their immune system up and running? And also, with the diagnose, I mean, I'm pretty sure you have patients that have been diagnosed with COVID. Tell me what is happening with them. Like I said, I did a bunch of little interviews with a bunch of people, friends and family. Thank you guys all. A lot of had great success stories. Yeah, it was just very mild, but
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
kept us away for 14 days.
And look, and most people will be mild, okay? And the reason we stay away for 14 days is so that if you have that high viral load, you're not, spewing it to everybody else. And the biggest risk is if you are in closed environments for any significant amount of time with poor airflow, and there's somebody that's sick. So, people have asked me, in fact, I'm going to write something like I told you and explain all this. So if you're in a restaurant, there's a good study done in South Korea, or an office building where everybody is downwind of somebody who has a very high viral load, and you sit there all day, and that ventilation is pushing that virus over you all day. Well, 12 out of 18 people downwind got the COVID. Okay, so you're pretty safe outside. Okay, the only thing, the caveat, like I told you earlier, was when you go downtown to that art fair, and normally I say you're fine outside. As long as you're 6 feet away from people, you're fine. You don't have to wear a mask outside. But then when you go into an environment like a fair or something like that, and everybody's packed right next to each other, and they're coughing and they're talking loud because it's noisy, then you might want to wear a mask. But I try to not make people too paranoid. I think you do need to wear masks in small, closed environments where there's a good amount of people. Other than that, do the usual, wash your hands as often as you remember, keep sanitizer in your car, and, just protect yourself as best you can.
So, doctor, would you actually?
We have some questions from the chat.
Okay, you want to go ahead and throw one up?
Yeah, so somebody actually said they have COVID. Their back hurts, their lungs hurt, but their fever's gone. Is there anything they can do for their lungs?
As far as to feel better,
I think to feel better, yeah.
they could try dexamethasone. They could ask the doctor if they're short of breath or something, if they wouldn't mind trying a steroid or something. That might help. Yeah, it came out 2 weeks ago. Dexamethasone is the miracle cure. Well, it's been around forever. We do use it on people that are really, really, really sick, whose body is just overwhelming their system to tamp down. But if you're short of breath or something, I try steroids oftentimes and see if that relieves some of that weight on the chest. That is a big complaint, is people feel like they're just tight, almost like an asthmatic type thing. They can't get air.
Yeah. So we have another question right here, Eric. Unless you have one to follow up with that one.
No, I want you guys to explain what you're doing today when you're done. And
okay, cool.
The percentages of this test. I mean, everybody's so confused about this test. So
I'll explain the test real quick.
Great, yeah.
So somebody asked quarantine on assumption of virus, yet not tested positive.
There's a lot of that. I've heard of that.
I would get tested quickly. So this test that I do right now, the antibody test, this test for whether you've had it, I get results immediately. We'll know whether San Martin has had it right away. My swab test for the PCR, I get it in 2 to 3 days max.
So a lot of people are taking 14 days.
I would quarantine until you get back, whether or not you're positive. And if it's negative, then at that particular moment you're negative. Now that doesn't mean you don't go walk out, to your office and somebody else coughs on you, and now you got to get tested again. So the swab test can be done over and over. Both of these can, but the swab test, it just depends on who you get exposed to. So if it's negative one day, you could go out the next day and pick it up again. But I tell people, get tested as soon as possible with PCR test, the nasal or the mouth swab, and that way you'll know within a couple of days, depending upon what lab you're using. Okay, now some of them are so backlogged, it's 5 to 6 days. So really, in theory, you should quarantine for 5 to 6 days.
Well, so a lot of people are actually out there that are trying to figure out what will happen. Eric's question was, what is the percentage of how accurate this is?
So this one that I'm doing, so what the antibodies test for, and comes in a little packet like this, is IgG and IgM. Okay, so IgM is the first antibody your body produces against COVID. IgG is the second one. Okay, they're very, it's a lot more specific. IgM is much more of a generalized antibody. Okay, comes in a little packet like this. Okay, and pull it out. Everybody's seen pregnancy tests, I'm sure. Looks almost exactly like a pregnancy test. Okay, same idea. Every molecule in your body weighs a different thing. Okay, so basically, what this test is the weight of the IgG and the IgM molecule. Okay, so there's a little slot right here. The top line says C, the second one says IgG, and the third one says IgM. So basically, we put a drop of blood in here, and then we put the testing reagent on, okay, which carries the molecules through diffusion. If you stick a paper towel in water and it creeps up, that same idea. Well, the molecules weigh a different amount, okay, so they stop at a certain point.
Oh, wow. And
then there's a dye in there that glows, okay? So depending upon whether the molecule weighs IgM amount, IgG amount, or their control amount, will show you, whether to stop. So any color pink line is positive, okay? The control is there to tell you the test was good. If the control lights up, the test was a bad test and you need to do it again, okay?
So if this is positive, what does that mean?
That means you have been exposed to COVID.
And then
you have antibodies.
So that means immune to it, or could happen
some immunity. Okay, it's not quantitative. It doesn't tell me how much immunity you have. but you could probably assume if it's positive, you have some immunity.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
And you know what?
That's what we don't want.
This is gonna be a joke, guys. You know how every man seems like they have been sick and gonna die,
Man
guys.
flu.
Man flu, man. So we all know about COVID already, Eric. Just kidding, guys. I know we all men out there. We know how to
You
take
like that
sickness.
2 months off, huh?
Yeah,
Dr. Blue, does insurance cover this test, or how much? Give somebody an idea, because I think people are afraid to get this test.
For what reason? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. So, does insurance cover this test? Is this can people pay for this? How does it work?
This one I do not know. Okay, if insurance is covering it. The swab test they are covering. That one was guaranteed by that first money package. The swab test you can go get, and that's covered. I am not sure if you're. I would suggest if you have insurance, check them. Check with them. I charge $65 for cash. Yeah, that's just a set. So it's not terrible if you want to know if you have had it. And it's about, you asked about accuracy. This is, between 98 and 98.5% accurate.
Excellent. Wow.
So,
Eric, you're next, buddy.
Maybe, yeah.
Eric's been egging me to do this ever since the start. He's like, man, I can't wait for you to go down there and get it. So I got
you want to do it?
Yeah, let's do it, guys. Anybody want to take bets if I had it or not? I think I did before, but we'll see what happens.
So I'm going to be a good guy and put gloves on.
Nice.
I normally don't. Okay. Do you have a finger preference? And don't stick the middle one up. Don't use your thumb. Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed? Or both ambidextrous.
Okay, so let's do a little one over here. Okay. You're gonna.
It's going down, guys.
You're gonna need this afterwards just to stop the little drop of blood. So this is.
I'm crying.
Huh?
No crying.
I'm not gonna cry.
It's a tiny little finger stick.
Eric's always pressing. Eric wants me to cry. I can see it in his face. Like,
Well, no, actually, I love that because there's so many misconceptions about this test. You've got to do a big blood draw and everything else, and that's not the case.
No, it's a tiny little, almost like a diabetic lancet, almost the same thing. You want to kind of milk it, make sure you get it good. Okay, that's kind of smart a little bit. Okay, so it really only takes a drop or two of blood. Just draw it up in this little pipette.
oh wow. Should I rub this off?
Hold on, wait. Let me make sure I get enough. Yeah, I get it. It's a little bitty sample. I don't know if you guys can see that. Am I holding it the right way, wrong way? Yeah, just a little bitty sample. Okay. Yeah, you wipe it off there. And then we just put the reagent, which swells it up. And as soon as that starts pulling up, I'll show you what it looks like. You'll see it's basically a paper solution. You see it drawing up there?
Oh, yeah.
So there's a line going up. I don't know if you guys can see that. Come right here. You can see that there is a line going up on this part right now. Okay. And that's carrying the molecules of the blood up. So we'll know. Okay. And see, there's the dye coming along with it. So, well, no, I'm going to put one more drop on there just because it doesn't look like it. Good. And it shouldn't take any more than 10 to 15 minutes. So, it can be done right then.
So we're gonna sit here and talk about some things. One of the things that a lot of people have talked with me about, totally 100% off the record, but I said I was gonna say something about it today without name being said. I had a young lady and her grandfather, 85 years old, that passed, and they finally gave the cause of death was blood clot caused COVID. And then when you were saying something about that right now, saying that it actually causes these certain things, it kind of that makes, all people that have underlying illnesses are really, really in a bad zone right
now. So if you're overweight, obese, big risk factor, diabetic, heart disease, or underlying lung disease, those are all big risk factors, besides the entire separate risk factor of just your age. So as we get older, all of our immune systems slow down a little bit. So we just don't mount as good of a defense, which is why anybody over 65, whether they have prior health conditions or not, but you keep hearing these miracle stories of these 85-year-olds that walk out of the hospital. So if they have a robust immune system, they may do very well. So it's not like every grandparent that gets it is going to die, but they are at much higher risk.
Okay, real quick, we got lots of activity on the chat here, so I'm going to break in here and kind of go through some of it. Somebody's asking here, is this a drive-through antibody test, or is this, and is they saying it's $65? So do they come into your office? Do they make an appointment? How do they do this?
Yeah, they can. I do it by appointment just because, as I said, I'm not having more than one person in the office right now. So they come in, I do it for them. And it literally takes. Actually, you only have to be in here like 2 minutes because I can then, shoot people a text later on, with the result.
Yeah, you guys, I'll go ahead and put the information right below in this conversation. Sheldon Street Medical is literally on Sheldon Street, right, probably across the street from Sprouts Marriott, in that little location right there. So if you guys are in need of that and want to make it happen, this is amazing, guys. Having the ability to sit down and chat with the doctor and kind of get firsthand what's happening, it makes a lot of sense. So basically, if there's any more questions,
there's some questions and comments here. Yeah. So we've got somebody who said they had COVID back in February and they were diagnosed with it, and they just got it again after doing the whole quarantine thing, and it doesn't sound like they're very happy at all.
They got it again via swab.
They said they had COVID again via swab. Yeah, they've been swabbed twice. It looks like.
Well, so they may never have cleared it.
They may have never. That makes sense. Yeah. So they may have never cleared it.
Kind of like mono, they might not have cleared it all the way. So that's the suspicion when you get these people several months apart that seem to they may have still kind of had it.
Well, and that's actually something great to notate because we've had the county health department general manager on our show, and they, most people don't know, they don't actually like test you and say, hey, you're good. They call you and see if you're feeling better, and then mark you as cured, right?
Supposedly, yes, you're cured. But there have been instances where people, we've heard out of South Korea, where then again, several months later, they test positive. So the thinking is perhaps they actually never clear it.
Okay, and so they're asking about the accuracy of the test again, which I think you addressed already. But I mean, that's those are the questions so far. Lots of activity. Somebody said their insurance did pay for it.
Good, and they should, because it's an illness. I mean, there's no reason why they wouldn't. And it also depends. All of these tests now, the antibody tests are different, right? So they're all different. It just depends upon the manufacturers as far as the accuracy. The PCR test, the nasal swabs or the mouth swabs, that's the most accurate test, right? Because you're actually getting the genetic material.
And you have to be active for that to work, though. I mean, after you've had it for 2 months. Right. Okay. So tell us about that test, because I've heard some horror stories about that test, and you give that test too, right?
I give that test too. Mine is sent out. I still use the nasopharyngeal swab where you stick it in the nose at the back. I do those. Insurance does pay for those. If somebody just wanted to cash pay, they still don't even pay up front. The company that I use, it's a private lab called Acutus. My turnaround is usually 2 days. They deal with the billing and everything, and they'll call you. And I think it's maybe 69 or 79 or something like that if you didn't have insurance. But those almost always are pretty dang accurate if they're using the approved CDC, FDA, PCR type things, because they're actually getting they're amplifying the genetic material. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Martina, you over there, you're very quiet, so I'm thinking you're bleeding out.
Oh no, I'm listening, my friend. I'm actually waiting for this test to be done. We have
I think you're gonna be negative.
Nice. I don't know what that means.
But you don't have the antibodies. So there's the control, and there would be, so here's what it looks like if it's negative. So up at the top, just like a pregnancy test, there's only one line. Unfortunately, sorry, it's not a board.
Okay, show them over here on this one.
It's There's only one line,
I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right there.
that pink line.
And then as you can see
There
up
would be
there.
2 more below it if he had antibodies. So I don't see any faint line. I do leave them sitting for a while, just in case it, flares up. I mean, it could be a tiny trace of IgG there, but I don't think so. Not enough to say you're immune.
Yep.
You know.
I'm not immune, guys.
Sorry. So don't cough on him.
Don't cough. I mean, you know what? I've been sitting out there. I'm like, you know what? I just want it already.
He's been trying. Yeah, he's been trying pretty hard to get it.
If there's any good takeaway message I can give to everybody is don't panic. Okay, we're gonna live with this for a while. Okay, there's an antibody pill coming out, which may be the first thing before the vaccine, where they've actually gotten it into pill form. So that may be the first thing coming out. Just protect yourselves. I mean, this is not, although the science is rocket science, the rest of it is not rocket science. Wash your hands, wear a mask when you're in closed, crowded environments, and otherwise try and live your life. I mean, I don't think we need to close anything. I don't think you need to totally stay at home. I think, when I say quarantine, I mean don't go out without a mask. And limit how much you go out. I mean, I've had to self-quarantine twice already. But that doesn't mean I never went outside,
Still enjoyed your life and still just like proceeded to stay away from people.
Right. So you can do all that stuff without altering your life too much.
That is something that needs to be heard. I mean, one of the biggest questions that a lot of people have, the last year's flu season.
Flu was bad.
Yeah, flu season was there.
Yeah.
Now the comparison from COVID to flu season. Now
there could have been misdiagnoses either way.
Yeah.
So if you didn't get flu tested and we didn't have a lot of COVID tests, it could have been either one. This seems to be, if it really gets a hold of you, you feel worse. Okay, but you feel pretty crummy with the flu too.
Yeah.
So people may not have been able to distinguish. They both come in the same way. They're both upper respiratory infections.
Well, you guys heard it here first. So
Yeah.
one of the
Are you doing flu tests this fall? Or not tests? Are you going to do flu shots this fall?
I always do flu shots. Yeah.
You give
For
flu
people that want it.
Oh, okay. And is it different
Definitely get a flu shot.
Is it different for kids or adults? Is it all the same? I mean, are you doing it for
I
everybody?
use one that is approved for. Usually, I get the one 7-year-old and above with 4 strains. The one I get. Some of them are approved from small children all the way up. The one I usually get, because I don't really have too many little bitty kids in my practice, so I get the one that's for 7, and it usually covers 4 strains, which is what you want.
And you're saying
But it would not.
this year, right?
What?
You're saying everybody should do it this year, right?
Oh, without a doubt. Last thing you want is to get both of these at the same time. I think that would pretty much guarantee a hospitalization. I mean, I don't know.
What do you say to the people like me? I have never taken a flu, never been like sick. What do you say to people that are really highly against taking the flu?
I tell you, I never took flu shots until I got the flu. And I felt like somebody had taken a baseball bat and beat me around the body. And it was the most, I could not get off the couch. It came on, boom, 103 fever. Couldn't get off the couch. 3 days, I was like, oh my God, somebody shoot me. I've taken a flu shot every day. So what I generally tell people is I don't make it, I assume we're all adults, right? You go with what you feel comfortable doing. I guarantee if you get the flu once, you'll take a flu shot.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever.
Yeah. So you know when you get one of these nasty ones, because it feels so different than anything else. When it feels like somebody just put me out of my misery, then you'll start getting flu shots.
Well, you guys heard it here first. Dr. Bloom, thank you so very much for bringing up a lot of things. I know there's a lot of questions. You guys are more than welcome to go ahead and message her on her page, which is the Sheldon Street Medical, or you can go ahead and message her, or just call.
And then I'll send out another update in the next week or so.
So those newsletters will come out, and we usually post them because she always has great information, and
sometimes I vent.
Yeah, and you could chat with her. You could chat with her on a regular basis. One of the best things about you and your practice is that you actually want to chat with your
Yeah,
patients.
yeah, I like taking time. So, I don't think anybody gets informed unless, we take time to actually talk to people.
Yeah. So there you guys go. We all have. Oh, sorry. Hold on. We got a last minute little question.
Lots of people saying thank you too, by the way, on the chat stream.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay.
Temperatures, do we need to turn people away? I would say 100.
Yeah, we've had
I would say 100.
a few people over 100, and it's like it's a little bit more than you
Now,
want.
the caveat to taking temperatures, if you're taking an oral temperature and they just had hot coffee, you can't use that.
We're doing yeah.
Okay. So, but remember that if you do oral temps, if they just had something cold or something hot, it's not valid, right? Okay. So you either need to use an ear or a skin.
Yeah.
But I would say if it's over 100, you don't want to be around them if it's over 100.
Yeah.
Most adults will not mount a temperature over 100 for anything but illness.
Yeah, I mean, well, the other thing
It
that
could
we
just be a urinary tract infection, but you don't know that.
yeah, well, the other thing is that they're coming from the hot Arizona sun from outside to inside. Can they heat up quicker? I mean, from a normal body temperature to 100 degrees in just a matter of walking
I'm
50 feet?
I'm going to have to get some information for you on that. I'll have to look that up because I do not know about the touch ones. If being outside in 110 degree temperature, if then you come inside and check it, is that going to make a difference on those? I don't know. It's supposed to be measuring internal temperature.
Yeah. Well, as we know, it's just one of those things where we all got a question. And since we are going back into, Mask Arizona, some of the things that you must need to do in order for you to stay safe and be, cautious with your health, do the proper things. Stay away from, large crowds if you want.
Here's my daughter asking about a COVID test. She just got exposed.
Nice.
Okay, well, hey, it's time. I thank you. You guys are both awesome. Thank you both for doing this. This is great. I think people learned a lot today.
Thank you.
If you guys have any questions, once again, we'll go ahead and post her information right below in this chat box, and we'll also go ahead and share her newsletters. And once again, follow her on her page. She's more than welcome to go ahead and answer the question that she needs.
Sure.
And her practice is a little bit different, guys. So she doesn't accept insurance, but she does have.
I work with people with insurance.
Yeah, so she does have a program that will work for anybody. And are you accepting new patients?
We are. I'm putting off the new patient visit. I do some of it via the phone, and then we'll do a short meet. But I'm not doing long exams right now. So yes, we are, but it's managed a little different than normally.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So if you guys are in need of somebody, I suggest this lady. You're lovely. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to come into your office. Thank you, Eric, for pushing me to the limit and making me want to get my finger poked. You're next, my friend.
And he didn't pass out or anything.
And I didn't pass out, my friends. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, guys, but we'll find out at some point in time. But like always, I appreciate everybody watching this, and I'm glad that everybody had, the time to go ahead and listen to our interview this morning. We'll be having more coming up after this one. I'm actually going to be talking to a COVID-19 patient that has been diagnosed. So they don't want their face exposed or information, but we're just going to go ahead and interview them while they're on the phone. So stay tuned, guys. I'm going to be doing that here shortly, so we can talk with them and just talk with them about their life and how COVID-19 treated them. Yeah. So I don't mean to laugh, but it's just some great conversation skills that I have. I would like to talk about other things, but guess what, guys? This is what's on our menu today.
We're stuck in COVID land.
Yes. So peace, love, and happiness. Eric, thank you so much for tuning in with us. Everybody over at Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Yeah.